What would you do if you had everything the world says you should want, but felt completely empty inside? This is the story of a man who learned the hardest way possible that the richest person in the graveyard is still just as dead as the poorest one. And his lesson might save your life before it's too late. Marcus had nothing when he started. Growing up in a cramped apartment with a single mother working 2 jobs, he promised himself one thing: I will never be poor again. At 22, he started a small landscaping business. By 30, he owned 3. By 40, he was running a multi-million-dollar real estate empire. The world saw a success story. But behind the mansion doors, a different story was unfolding. Marcus woke up at 4 a.m. every day. He answered emails during his daughter's birthday parties. He took important calls during his son's basketball games. His wife, Elena, stopped asking him to come to bed. She knew he wouldn't. "Just one more deal," he'd say, "then I'll slow down." But one more deal became 10. 10 became 100. And somewhere along the way, Marcus stopped being a husband and father. He became a machine built for one purpose: make more. The warning signs were everywhere. Marcus just chose not to see them. His daughter, Sophie, stopped inviting him to her piano recitals after he missed 3 in a row. His son, Daniel, learned to stop hoping Dad would show up. Elena started sleeping in the guest room, saying she couldn't rest with his midnight arrivals. But Marcus told himself he was doing this for them. They'll understand when they're older, he thought, when they have everything they want. Then came the deal that would change everything. A massive commercial project fell into his lap, a $50 million development that would make him one of the wealthiest men in the state. But there was a catch. The project required him to be on site in another city for 6 months, starting immediately. 6 months away from home, 6 months missing from his children's lives, 6 months of empty promises to Elena that he'd make it up to them. He took it without hesitation. "It's just temporary," he told his family at the airport.
"This is the last big push. Then I'm yours." Elena looked at him with eyes that had stopped believing years ago. "You've said that before, Marcus, many times." He laughed it off, boarded the plane, and left everything that actually mattered behind. The first 3 months were pure adrenaline. Marcus worked 18-hour days, closed deals, crushed negotiations. His bank account grew fatter by the day, but his life grew thinner. Phone calls home became shorter. Elena sounded more distant each time. The kids stopped asking when he was coming back. They just stopped asking anything at all. Then came the night that should have woken him up. Marcus was alone in his luxury hotel suite, staring at a contract worth more money than his father made in 20 years. His phone buzzed. A text from Elena. "Daniel asked if you were still his dad. I didn't know what to say." Marcus sat there for an hour, contract in hand, unable to move. He should have flown home that night. He should have torn up the contract and run to his family. Instead, he told himself, "Just finish this project, then I'll fix everything." He was lying to himself, and deep down, he knew it. 2 weeks later, Marcus got the call that would destroy his world. Elena had been in a car accident.
She was alive, but seriously injured. And in her hospital room, when Marcus finally arrived, 3 days late because he couldn't walk away from negotiations, she didn't look happy to see him. She looked resigned. "You came," she whispered. "I wasn't sure you would." That night, Sitting in the empty hospital corridor, Marcus scrolled through his phone. Photos from years ago. Sophie laughing at the beach. Daniel's first day of school. Family dinners, where he was actually present. He couldn't remember the last time any of those moments happened. And then he saw it. A video Elena had sent him months ago. He'd never watched it. He pressed play. It was Daniel, age 12, sitting in his bedroom, speaking to the camera. "Hey Dad, I know you're busy. Mom says you're working hard for us, but I just wanted to say, I don't care about the big house. I don't care about the fancy vacations. I just want you to play catch with me. Just once. Without your phone. Without looking at your watch. Just be my dad." The video ended. Marcus sat in that hospital hallway and wept for the first time in 20 years. Not because he was sad, because he realized he had already lost everything he was working for. Elena recovered, but something had broken that medicine couldn't fix. She asked for a separation, not because she didn't love him, she said she still did, but because she couldn't keep watching him destroy himself and call it success. The kids chose to stay with her. Marcus found himself alone in his mansion, surrounded by everything money could buy, with no one to share it with. He threw a party for his 45th birthday. 200 people came. Not one of them knew his children's names. That night, he walked through his empty house and found Sophie's old piano. Dust covered the keys. She hadn't played in years, not since he stopped coming to her recitals. He sat down and pressed one key. The sound echoed through the silence like an accusation. What have I done? Marcus thought about his mother, working herself to exhaustion so he could have opportunities. She died at 58, never having taken a single vacation, never having seen the world beyond her 2 jobs. He had become exactly what he promised himself he wouldn't. He had chased money to escape poverty and built a prison of wealth instead. Marcus made a choice that shocked everyone. He sold half his company. Not because he had to, because he chose to. He turned down 3 major projects. He started leaving the office at 5 p.m. no matter what. At first, his business partners thought he was sick. His competitors thought he was losing his edge. Marcus didn't care. For the first time in his life, he had something more valuable than money: clarity. He started showing up to everything. Daniel's games, Sophie's recitals, family dinners where he actually listened instead of checking his phone. It wasn't easy. The kids were wary at first. Elena was cautious. Trust isn't rebuilt in a day. But slowly, moment by moment, Marcus became present. He learned that his son loved astronomy, not basketball. He discovered his daughter had been writing songs for years, too afraid to show him. He remembered why he fell in love with Elena: her laugh, her strength, her patience with a man who didn't deserve it. One evening, 6 months after his transformation, Daniel asked him to play catch. Marcus dropped everything. They threw that baseball until the sun went down. No phone, no watch, just a father and son finally meeting for the first time. That night, Daniel hugged him before bed. "I missed you, Dad, the real you." Marcus held him tight, understanding finally what true wealth felt like. Marcus still runs his business today, but now he runs his life first. He tells everyone who will listen, "I was a millionaire who lived like a beggar, begging for time I had already spent. Don't be me."
Here's the truth that took him 20 years to learn. Money is a tool. It is not the purpose. You can always make more money. You can never make more time. You cannot buy back your daughter's childhood. You cannot purchase your son's trust after you've broken it too many times. You cannot invest in a marriage you've neglected and expect dividends of love. The world will tell you that success means more money, more status, more things. But at the end of your life, when you look back, you will not measure your days in dollars. You will measure them in moments, in laughter shared, in hands held, in presence given. So if you are chasing wealth right now, pause and ask yourself, what am I trading away?
And is the price worth what I'm actually trying to buy? Because the man who dies with the most money still dies. But the person who dies surrounded by love, by meaning, by a life truly lived, that person dies rich in the only currency that ever mattered. Stop chasing gold at the cost of your soul. Your family doesn't need a millionaire. They need you. And you need to be present enough to realize that's enough.